Yeah,
You're
they're
going to
okay.
record it?
Yeah, good, good. Sorry, go
You're on a
ahead.
Windows machine, right? No worries. Okay, guys. So we're recording now. So if you want, let's start putting the questions in. We'll do them in the text box. Or Will, do you want to do on with the microphones and stuff? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, we can do microphones if they have. If you have a question and you don't have a microphone, just type no mic and then the question. And if you just type the question, then we'll unmute you and you can come on there.
Yeah, for sure. So whenever you guys are ready, start typing questions in the box. Like Will said, just put no mic if you don't have a microphone, or I think you just kind of raise your hand if you want the microphone, or yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's one.
Sure.
I'll grab them here just once. Hey, Isaac.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. I just had a general question. I know you guys are in tons of different methods of traffic generation conversions, but in your honest opinion, like, what do you think the best method is, like, right now to attack? From I guess, from a beginner standpoint, what do you think is the best option to go with at this juncture?
So that's a pretty broad kind of question, but I'm guessing you mean things like you're doing CPA marketing, or like what is it that you're trying to promote?
Yeah, I mean, you got CPA, promoting to big ticket items, email marketing, mobile, and I know there's a ton of different ones.
Okay.
But
So I mean, Will give his opinion after, I guess, if he wants, but
Yeah.
I always say for beginners, I always say if you could do Facebook, even still, or small direct-to-site buys. Those are both good. If you're running something that is Google friendly, Google's always pretty strong as well in terms of self-serve stuff. And but yeah, otherwise I always say the same thing: is Facebook, small direct site buys, and then Plenty of Fish would be right after that actually. But because they're mainly a CPM system, that's why I put Facebook ahead of them. So.
Mm-hmm. And I agree. Like, Facebook's a really good place to learn, but I've been showing people that are brand new. I've been saying, just, you know what, go on 7 search and direct link, and that's the easiest way to learn it and to make money right away. And I've had a lot of guys that are doing really well with that, and they're just direct linking to like email submits to get a feel for it. And then once you get a feel for it, get some experience, then move on to higher payout offers and different traffic sources. But so if you're asking me if you're brand new, that's where I'd start. But if you're comfortable, move on up to Facebook, and even Ad Center still has good traffic, even though they're getting a little bit crazy. They do have traffic that converts, so that's what I would do.
thank you. You are right about Ad Center. They've been sticklers for campaigns lately. Just want to throw that out there.
They try to copy AdWords as close as they can because Bill Gates doesn't have an original bone in his body, so they have to just copy whatever everybody else does. So, but and the other thing too, there is a way on AdWords to do it besides booking. That works too. But what I've found, and I was actually shocked, and I know I've said this on the forums, but if you have a PPC agency, or you even pretend you have a PPC agency, they will love you to death. Like, I have guys at AdWords that will do my campaigns for my clients for me if I want them to. They'll just do them. So if you really want to get back on AdWords on the white hat side, open up a PPC agency, make a web page, make a dummy page, call it Bob's PPC agency, and then open up individual accounts for each niche that you want to run offers in. In those niches, pretend they're businesses and build a list in each one, and then just email them the CPA offers. It'll work. Like, there's no way it can't work. They love, love, love PPC agencies. Like, it's totally night and day. I was shocked.
Yep.
But, okay, so next, there's got to be more than just one question.
60 minutes for one question.
All right, see you guys later. We're out of here.
All right.
No, who I know a couple guys on here have bought the cloaker. So why don't we talk about that? How's it going for everybody?
Yeah, they got their first the webinar tomorrow night. So yeah, so I guess the guys will whoever's bought it, you know, just watch for the emails coming from the No IP Fraud team, and they'll be having that webinar tomorrow. Also, guys, for you guys that didn't see my post about the cloaker, they are allowing you to share accounts, right? So I know a few of the guys now have teamed up, about 3 guys have teamed up to buy a pro account, right? That was one option. And you know, that you can also split a basic account as well. So, you know, if you want to, you know, there's a thread in the forum. I'll try to find it right now. I think you guys can see my screen, so.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah,
I think
so
it's in the
there's a
main
thread.
forum.
Yeah, it's in the main forum. I think it's just under this cloaking one right here. Yeah, the webinar invite cloaking. A few of you guys are just doing the, you know, the group buy thing, and that's cool too. So any other questions coming in? Let's see.
Okay, here
Isaac's going in.
yeah. Okay, fire away, Isaac.
Hi. I had an honest question. What do you guys, in your honest opinion, how do you feel about arbitrage? Just like setting up websites, getting some cheap traffic, getting clicks. I know it's not a super advanced method, but I have seen success with that in the past. Ridiculous amounts, but I didn't go through the methods to make it completely legit. But I just want to know what you guys honestly think about that method.
You mean arbitrage as in like from sending AdWords or paid traffic to an AdSense page?
Yes.
For Google AdSense?
Yes.
From what I know is like once they started doing their smart pricing thing, and you know they started to be able to detect that sort of stuff really easily. That's the only issue with it right now. If you can use ads like, for example, like Yahoo still does those, like you can set up a page that's just ads like for park domains and stuff, and you can drive traffic there. You know, and yeah, it's a legit model, right? As long as you can find a company or hide it that you're actually sending paid traffic to them, then you get away with it. You can do, you know, back in the day, some guys made a good killing with CPV pops, right? Like PPV traffic, cheap PPV traffic, and would just pop up a page of ads, and you know, more people if they click, then you get paid just on the click. So yeah, I mean, you could do it. Just it's a little more technically difficult now that you know a lot of the ad companies detect that. I don't know if Will's got more experience with that or.
I actually have never in my life done it. If I'm going to pay for the clicks, I want to send it to something that pays a lot more than a couple pennies. So it's never interested me at all to do it. And I know guys make good money doing it, but it's a whole skill set that I've never even attempted. So I can't really say either way, unfortunately. For trackers, though, I don't use any other than my own, so I can keep that answer really short for you. But what do you use, Chad?
For tracking campaigns?
Yeah.
Use if I'm just doing normal CPA that's not on a media buy, so like PPC or like Plenty of Fish or something like that, more often than not, 90% of the time I'll just use Prosper. Prosper is going to a paid version too, but I admit I haven't used your tracker yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got to get that moved over. You know,
well,
I'm horrible for procrastinating.
I got access anyway. Like I could probably try it out. Just it's one of those things where I'm just used to Prosper, so I just continue to use it, right? But you know, I'm sure it's got a quick learning curve. Sometimes I'll use CPV Lab. I think CPV Lab, like it's really good, like in terms of the complexity of stuff you can do, but the setup is also kind of complex, right? So you know, more often than not, I use Prosper. If I'm doing a media buy, I'll use Ad Shuffle. That's my ad server. So.
Yeah.
Here's a good question by Biker Boy. How to really scale? What's really involved? Is it as simple as testing more different traffic sources and keywords? I know scaling generates the big bucks. Can you share your scaling experiences? Okay, well, I'll go first. This is kind of like a broad question because you can scale in a few different ways. So let's say you got a now if it's pay per call you're talking about, Alfred, there, it's kind of
Yeah, man. Pay per call.
Alfred, you talking pay per call?
Yeah. But,
Okay, man.
I'm doing another pay per call right now.
Okay, so scaling the pay per call, right? Hey, Alfred, thanks for going mute. Okay, so scaling the pay per call. The tricky thing with that is that a lot of your conversions are coming from search traffic, right? So what ends up happening is Google's got the most search traffic that you can get. So, the next step is try to get the smartphones profitable. After that, like, to give you an idea of how to scale a normal campaign, so let's say I had a campaign on Facebook or Google Display Network, right? And then I found profitable keywords. I'll give you my display network thing. So I have a campaign on Google Display Network. I find profitable keywords, and then I'll start with, let's say, 5,000 keywords, and eventually I'll come down to, like, I might have one ad group, so maybe 10 keywords. I'll take those 10 keywords, I'll put them in the Google search. It's kind of backwards what most people do. And then I'll find whichever one is, I'll also, get now some Google search traffic. And then after that, I'll take a look at the demographics of the sites that I was converting on, and I'll target those demographics in something like Facebook, right? And often because I play usually in bigger markets, the best way that I scale is simply increasing my budget, right? And so if I can get most of the markets that I kind of deal with, I can end up spending, $3,000 to $4,000 a day. Not easily, but if I get it converting, I can scale up to spending $3,000 to $4,000 a day, right? So because it's such a broad, big markets that I deal in. So often scaling is just an issue of playing in an arena that you can actually scale, right? So playing in a market or whatever, that you can actually scale. So on pay-per-call, Google owns most of the search traffic. So, outside of increasing your budget, like just amping your budget up to like $1,000 a day and watching it closely and just seeing how much traffic comes through, that's one method, right? So I don't know if you've done that yet. The other thing to do is you can start taking those profitable keywords and bidding on those on the Google Display Network. Now that I know you were trying it and your volume's a little low and that sort of thing. You could try increasing your budget, your bids, and also increase your budget, because often that'll open up floodgates a bit more if you show them you're a little more serious about spending. It works like that on Facebook as well. One thing that I was talking to actually Justin Ellenberg about this today about testing the pay-per-call stuff on Facebook with Facebook fan page. And I haven't really heard anyone doing that. He told me that he's talked to one guy doing it pretty decently, so that could be another way that you could scale. It's something I want to test, but obviously I got a lot of things on my plate that I'm working out. So, those are my thoughts on scaling. Will, you got anything?
Yeah, no, for me, scaling is, like you said, if you're in an arena where you can actually increase the budget, that's the easiest way, because then you just increase the budget and the traffic gates open up a bit wider. But if you're not, then you have to look at alternate traffic sources. So like you said, if you're doing something on Google or on Facebook or wherever, then take it to the other places and just expand it that way. So the other thing with pay-per-call, and I don't know if anybody's really doing that, but I haven't tried it yet, but what if you're buying banners on websites that have the phone number on it and doing the old school media buy or a direct-to-site buy, but instead of having, wouldn't that work?
Yeah, well, actually, Ellenberg, I'm pretty sure he, because he talks about media buying a bit, and that's how he did his. So when you go in the pay-per-call network, you can, a lot of these offers, like, so when I was doing the tax settlement offer, there were banners that were in your Ring revenue side of things, and they would be dynamically inserted with the phone number. And so you could run display ads on normal sites just like you could on anything else. So some of the people are just going to dial right away off the ad, but a lot of people are going to click through, right? So the people that are going to click through. You just need a simple lander in place if you're targeting mobile traffic. If you're targeting, so here I'll show you some real fast. So this was the.
Just while you're loading that, what about even doing a pseudo merchant, but instead of having links on the thank you page, you just have a list of phone numbers of places they can call? You know?
Yeah, well, no, I mean that's exactly. You have numbers, and then in your email follow-up, you could have numbers as well. Why isn't Treatment Doctor loading? This is weird. That's odd. So there was an offer called Treatment Doctor. That was the addiction treatment one, and it was one of my early tests on Facebook. Most of my revenue, like Alfred, came from Google, but what I did is I just ripped their lander. Right, I ripped their lander, and I sent the traffic to the lander that looked exactly like Treatment Doctors, except instead of all the calls to action and stuff, I just kind of put the number in place and that sort of thing. So
nice.
That was, yeah. So you can do stuff like that. You can take simple landers that are, you know, the whoever you're sending the leads to, but then just copy it and then you know, put just the phone number all over the thing, and then you could go from there. You can use the ring pools feature. I didn't bother, but because I was just sending it from Facebook. But you can use the ring revenue ring pools feature to dynamically replace the phone numbers, so you know which keywords and whatnot generated the conversion lead.
Right on. Okay, Frank's got a question here.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank, are you there?
I think he just typed it in. He just.
Yeah. Okay. So he just said, Chad, do I need a lander for Cloaker doing mobile PPC?
Well, you know, if it's an offer that, so just let me read this again. Chad, do I need a lander for Cloaker doing mobile PPC?
Can you cloak mobile PPC?
Yeah, well, the Cloaker that, the no IP Cloaker, because I had bugged them about getting mobile stuff in it, they actually ended up adding mobile functionality. I'm just wondering, Frank, like, what is it you're running or you want to run that you would need to cloak? That's the only thing. So I'm guessing this isn't pay-per-call. It's probably like CPA or something like that. Like, I'm just wondering, like, why you would need to cloak on mobile. Yeah, you can. You can if you're going to do something sketchy that they don't like. So yeah, if you, okay, you're saying yes, CPA. So if you're doing, you know, some type of CPA offer, like a ringtone offer, that's probably the best bet. A ringtone offer on Google Display Network, for example. And yeah, what you would do is you could set up a lander to just any random site. It doesn't have to be a mobile site that you're cloaking to. So if I was to go here and type in free ringtones, all right, and by the way, guys, this is how I find, because a couple of people were asking, this is how I find sites for cloaking. This is kind of the way I do it. And I'll go to a site, and then I'll just find, you know, free ringtones. I'll just find something. So let's say freeringtones.eu.com, right? So I might send to a site like this, right? I would look into it further to make sure that this site isn't linking to CPA offers itself, right? And so I might link to one specific page, right? So, and then that's the page I would use as the cloaking page. And then from my ad will actually go to the CPA network or the CPA offers, sorry. One thing though that, remember, keep this in mind about the about cloaking mobile is, and the guys at No IP say that for Google, a small percentage of the Google robots do come through looking like mobile. Okay, so right now it's kind of a at your own risk thing if you're doing it on Google. With Facebook, Facebook's going to have mobile inventory pretty soon, and so I'm really excited about cloaking on Facebook on the mobile inventory because, you know, ringtones is a big one that you could do, so that's got potential. But just keep in mind with Google that some of the Google bots do come in looking like mobile, so that means they do end up going to the actual offer. So just do keep that in mind. That's the only part of that cloaker that's might not be completely 100% right now. Those are clever guys, though. I wouldn't doubt they come up with a solution for that pretty quick. So.
Okay. And then another question here from Celeste. Well, you can read too, but how long do you run and test an unprofitable Facebook campaign until you decide to kill it. I spend around 20 to 25 per campaign group per day.
Okay. Well, I can go first. And
Sure.
with that is like so I do it a little different than Will does. Will usually usually recommend Will like one time the offer payout on any particular ad or whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I do it, it's pretty close. I just say, you know, once you've spent 2 times the offer payout, right? So let's say the offer pays out $5, Celeste, and you know you've spent $10 or 2 times, you spent $10. The offer payout on that particular ad, okay? Now, since you're doing it the campaign group setup that I talked about, you could even do it with that particular campaign because each campaign has the same ad in it, right? So, so if you spent $10 on that particular campaign and you haven't got any conversions, or you've lost double is usually the way. That's how the spread is usually. You've lost double. Then I'll kill that one. Ideally, I've had a total of over 10,000 impressions to that campaign group or one particular ad if you're doing the old strategy, but you're doing the newer strategy. So, if you're doing the 10,000 impression limit, you've given it a good run, well, then I'm just going to pause it myself. Will, if you got anything else to say on that?
Yeah, I do, I treat the ads as keywords, so it's all individual, and then there's just a maximum amount that I'll spend per ad, and once I hit that amount, if it's converted, I'll keep it. If it hasn't, I pause it. So I burn through a lot of ads and a lot of keywords doing that because like 80 to 90% of them do not work. But it's the ones that do work tend to pay for the ones that don't work quite easily. So I think Chad's way, spending 2 times the offer payout per ad, then you get to go in and you can tweak things, right? Or maybe if you're direct linking, you can add a landing page and try and make it profitable that way. And that's a good way to do it too. There's no single right way to do it. It just depends on your preference, really. That's all.
And also, one thing to keep in mind, like this is going to sound kind of ridiculous, but let's say I'm promoting a really low-paying offer, something that's like 70 cents or $1 or whatever, and sometimes I'll spend 5 times the offer payout, right? Sometimes even upwards of 10 if it's like a 50 cent. Like I ran this offer in India, and the payout was 50 cents, but my clicks were like, probably 5 cents or so. So what I did is just I sent 10 times. Like I would spend $5 per ad that didn't, and just gave them a good run. Obviously, you don't need to do that, but if it's a low payout, and you think, okay, well, you're willing to test $1 or $2 per ad, well, that might give you 3 times the offer payout. Whereas on the flip side of that, if I'm testing a rebill offer that's like $45 payout or a BizOp offer that's $100 payout, am I going to do 2 times the offer payout? Well, probably not in that case, depending on how much traffic I'm sending that day. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it does vary a little bit.
Okay, I think you answered Frank's question there. Can you use the website as a landing page that refer the traffic to mobile?
Yeah. Just use it. It doesn't have to be a mobile optimized lander.
Okay.
The Google will just think you're a dumb advertiser, but they'll just think, man, this guy doesn't send to a optimized lander, so whatever.
Okay, here's a question, and I hope I say this right. Narode? Are you there? Oh, okay, she's shy. Okay, question is there a different strategy for PPC for e-commerce stores than from regular affiliate PPC techniques? Well, I can answer that one. Yes, definitely. When you have an e-commerce store, I'm assuming you own it, and you own the products in it. Google is now your business partner, and they love you, and you can do things that you want to do with affiliate marketing, like send people to a straight-up squeeze page. You can do that. When you have an e-commerce store, they love it. They don't care because you're not an affiliate. You actually own the store. So you can do stuff like that you can't do as an affiliate because they wouldn't allow it. You can also just send people right to each individual page of your product. I just recently, I do way too much stuff, but I signed up as a dealer for this product in Texas, and I'm just launching the website, and I'm drop shipping. So I have a deal with the factory direct, and all I'm doing is taking the orders and sending them to the factory, and then the factory is going to drop ship for me. Google.
Nice deal.
Yeah, oh yeah, I totally skipped all the middlemen. I got really lucky. But Google has already gone into my campaign, and they're working on it right now to build it out for me. So I'm just like blown away. Like, can you imagine if you're an affiliate and you say, okay, I have these 10 offers and I want to do a campaign for each of them. Here, Google, go build it for me. Like, wouldn't you just, like, man, it blows my mind. It's amazing. So the difference is like night and day between your own stuff as a e-commerce person, your own product, and if they like it, they'll bend over backwards. Like, you hear a lot of nasty stuff about them, and it's from affiliates, and they don't really like affiliates. But they love small business people. So I don't.
Well, how'd you get them to help you on that? Because I got an e-commerce store that just haven't had time to spend a lot of time on that I wouldn't mind.
Do you have a rep? An AdWords rep?
Well, I had a girl that I was talking to, but she's not really a rep for me. No.
Okay. Get on the live chat on AdWords. Just go to contact us, and the live chat's there. Say you need help with your campaign. They will help you. They'll build it out for you. It's amazing. Like, you'll be blown away, man. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know a buddy who's doing something legit, amazingly, on AdWords and on Google Display Network, and he's got it now set up for Google to manage it via CPA, right? Yeah. And he said, I don't know how they're doing it, but within 2 days I'm profitable on search, and I'm just making money. I'm getting an 80-cent EPC, and it's what it is actually. This is actually kind of funny. Is it's a dating offer, right? It's a dating offer, but he's direct to the advertiser.
Yeah,
so they
nice.
worked with Google. They worked with Google to make it all compliant, and Google thinks it's his offer, like his dating site, and so he's getting, like, in Google search, he's getting 80-cent EPC, and EPC, and his cost per click is low, and he's like, yeah, man, Google's managing the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is awesome.
Well,
man.
I have one client too right now at my agency, and we hooked her up with the CPA bidding on the content network. So you basically you put in the amount you want Google to hit for your CPA, and then you set your conversion pixel on the thank you page, and they go and they get it. And they, like I said, it was for an opt-in for an email form, and she wanted a $3 opt-in. Before I was doing it manually on my own, I was at like $7, and I could not seem to get below $7. So then I turned it over to Google, and I set the CPA at $3. It's coming in now at $1.90.
Yeah, like, they'll hit it. That's crazy.
It's just amazing, and she thinks I'm a genius, and I'm like, well, okay, I didn't really do it, but yeah, exactly. It's amazing. So yeah, if I see you put a follow up down there, how do you get Google to build out your campaign for you? Literally go to the help and then contact us. Usually they have live chat on there all the time now. Just say you want to get more traffic, and you'd like somebody to help you with your campaign, and then you get a phone call and they'll walk you through everything. It's awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen this? Well, I got on my screen, the Display Campaign Optimizer. It's a little different. It's for people that are spending over $500 a day on Display Network. Obviously, doing something legit. And what they do is, like, you set up your campaign so it says you get rid of, like, you have to have automatic placement, so you can't have keywords or anything in there. And then this is a purely optimized by Google. Like, it's like as if you went to a blind network, and they do it, but you have to have a minimum of like $500. You have to opt in for the program, but it's pretty cool if you have a client or you yourself have something legit that you can be spending that much on. They'll take it and just blindly run the whole thing for you.
Nice.
They're awesome if you're doing something legit and cool.
Yeah, if they like you and like your product, they will bend over backwards. Like, it's insane. And it's totally opposite of what you hear everywhere about affiliate stuff, because it's so refreshing to actually experience it. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Moving on.
Yeah. So Isaac has another question here. Just trying to find him in the list, just so we don't have to read it. Isaac. Okay.
Hey,
So you got a follow-up there?
hello?
Hi.
Hey, I asked a while ago, let me see which one.
I think we're on
How are you
the...
guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yep.
How are you guys doing with a pay-per-call personally? I know you said you set up a lander to get some traffic going. Or you set
Oh
up a
no,
lander.
me personally, I do pretty good with it, but I'm still just 90% of the time just direct linking through AdWords search, right? I still deal with the low quality score issue that a lot of people do. I still deal with that sort of stuff. A bit low volume, but it's kind of like I'm having pretty much the same type of results as like where is he right here? I'm trying to find Alfred. Where the hell's
Alfred?
your? Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Oh, on
Yeah,
there.
yeah, right here. No, yeah, that one right here. In the Daily Diary, Biker Boy, right here, he's got a pretty good follow along, and he goes in his results so far with pay per call. But yeah, it's same type of thing. Like a couple, 2 to 3, even more campaigns, and right now he's generating. He had his first $500 revenue day, but yeah, that's basically how I do it. Just go direct, and I deal with the same quality score issues that a lot do. But the thing that I've noticed is the even if my quality score is low, and Will's got a good theory on this, but even if my quality score is low, I can still get traffic, like a good amount of volume, once I get my click-through rate up, even if the quality score stays low.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if their quality score doesn't really matter much, as it doesn't really on the display network. That could be why. Even talking to Ellenberg, right, he was saying that, yeah, my quality score is fairly low in a lot of cases, right? What I'm trying to do now, personally, is setting up a U.S.-based account. For you guys that have a U.S.-based account, you're at an advantage because Google has a call tracking feature where they'll give you a Google Voice forwarding number, and that forwarding number is what all your calls will go through, and then you just forward that number to your actual pay-per-call number. Now, why that's an advantage is now because Google will track via ad group. It's actually ad group level only, Will. It's not keyword.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what I did is I set up the campaign one keyword per ad group, right? But you can't tell by you can't tell phrase match whatever. So you probably want to set up 3 campaigns with phrase, broad, whatever. But anyway, so you guys with U.S. accounts have the advantage of doing that call tracking because then you can use smartphones. And the smartphone volume is a lot bigger. There's a lot more volume on smartphones. The disadvantage is each campaign can only have 1 phone number. Okay, so there's a few ways you can do it. You got either get that call tracking thing that I'm telling you about, or you just get, you have 1 campaign that deals with these keywords, 1 campaign deals with these keywords, and each one has a different phone number. So I know that was way different than what you asked, but that's kind of like what I'm doing.
Well, me personally, I've set up exactly 2 pay-per-call campaigns because one I've set up and I still don't have traffic to it yet. Remember that one from like 5 weeks ago I was telling you about? It's still not going. It's still under review. I don't get it. And the second one, I basically lost money, but I haven't done it enough. I just haven't put enough time into it yet. I know it'll work because the proof is right there. You just got to put time and effort into it, which I need more of.
It does work. It's got like easy conversions. I mean, even in campaigns I don't optimize, you'll get conversions. You won't necessarily be profitable right away, but you do get them. And if you guys are interested in signing up, like Justin Ellenberg's got his own CPA network for pay-per-call. So if you guys are having troubles like finding offers and that sort of thing, I have dropped the line in there in the just give me a second. Mobile. Sorry guys, just I'm trying to. Yeah. It's mobile fused. Yeah, right here. You can sign up there, mobilefuse.hasoffers.com. You can specify that I sent you, and because he said he'd like some more publishers and stuff. So if you guys are looking for more pay-per-call offers, you can go there.
Right on.
He's going to be in the forums too, I think.
Oh, is
said
he?
he's gonna,
That's cool.
yeah, he said he'll pop in once or twice a week and answer some paper call questions if guys have them. So
Cool. And then Isaac, you had a follow-up, but I think I'm just going to read it because we're getting a lot of feedback on when I take you off mute there, if you don't mind.
yeah.
So I set up a YouTube video with a testimonial and had someone talk about how great PP call, paper call service was. No conversions, didn't test that much. So, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing would be you didn't test much, right? But if you guys are promoting a YouTube video, one thing we did it with a MLM product and a webinar was the YouTube ads. If you guys have ever seen sponsored videos on YouTube, and so that if you want to get more promotion to your YouTube video of any kind, if you're promoting anything, try those out. If you got a strong video you think you want to test out, give it a go. It's pretty cheap still. I mean, I was getting like the clicks or per view was like 22 cents for some things like MLM leads, which is a pretty competitive term on Google search. So you can still get some fairly cheap traffic there.
Awesome. I'm going to unmute Sam. I gotta find it. Hey Sam, you had a question? Oh, don't hear anything. Okay. So the question is, what is the ring pool feature?
Okay. The ring pool feature, essentially what it does is, let's say you have let's say you have a landing page, and on the landing page you have a phone number for a paper call, right? So this is only if you use a landing page. Ring pool is only for landing pages. So let's say keyword, you have 5 different keywords that you're bidding on, and so somebody types in one keyword and then they get brought to your landing page off that keyword. Well, based on that keyword, the number on your lander will change. Okay, and that's the ring pool feature allows you to do that. And what that means is that's how it can track. Like if you're using a landing page, that's how you can track which keyword brought the click, which eventually brought the call. Does that make sense? So it's pretty much simple as that. There's other services like If by Phone that allow you to do that, but they're paid services. So Ring Revenue Now just allows you to do that for free. So
cool.
With a ring pool feature.
The other question here, what are the best PPC networks aside from 7Search that work well for direct linking campaigns? So I guess the 2 that I've used in the past 2 weeks are LookSmart. I know it's old, but it does work, and it's dirt cheap. And the other one is AdKnowledge. That's one that I've been playing with a lot lately. The only thing about AdKnowledge is when you go in there, they'll want you to set your bid at like 50 cents or 56 cents in my case, but they actually only charge me 5 cents. So they won't even let the campaign run if you bid 5 cents. You have to bid what they suggest, but they actually charge you far less. So if you're direct linking an affiliate offer, then go with those 2. That's the 2 I'd be testing next. If you're like, I think you had the e-commerce question. If it's your own stuff, then just go with AdWords and direct link right to your site. There's nothing more involved really. Did you have any other ones, Chad?
Well, I mean, you can direct link on almost everything, right? It just depends what it is you're promoting. That's the big thing, right? So that's kind of the misconception on it. But if you're saying you want to promote anything you want, like rebills, whatever else, direct link, then yeah, things like AdKnowledge is one. We ran a campaign with AdKnowledge for Marvin's webinar. Some of you guys know of Marvin, my only student, and I didn't get good results with it. We did the email traffic though, Will. I don't know what kind of traffic you're doing, the display and search stuff. We did the email traffic, and we didn't really get good results on something that was converting. So that was just my opinion, but I've heard a lot of guys speak highly of them, and you can access social traffic and gaming traffic and stuff, which is good for gaming offers. So
yeah, the free downloads on the gaming work really well.
Really? Okay. So yeah, there you go, guys. It's a good one, and it's cheap, and you don't need the $500 minimum. I thought you did. We actually put in the $500 because we thought
did you?
Yeah, we thought you needed it, right? So I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever, put the $500 in. But
Yeah.
we got a refund on it because we were like, your traffic isn't working for this offer. So I think for certain traffic it will. So for certain offers it will.
Okay. And then another question Frank had.
Oh, actually, sorry. I'll jump in the road. A couple other ones. I mean, Ad Sonar is another one that you can direct link to certain offers.
Yes.
So that's another one. I mean, there's tons of other things like that, but things like Pulse 360 are expensive. You don't want to start. But Ad Sonar, sometimes you can find cheap traffic as well. So.
Okay. Question from Frank. Take the IVR addiction mobile campaign. If I want to cloak that campaign, what would my page that I'm showing to Google be?
Yeah, so the way I find that, Frank, is I would just go addiction treatment centers, and then I probably wouldn't use a .gov domain, right? But what I'll probably do is maybe Hazelden, one of the. I'll just look at one of these, and if they look legit, then so promises.com. Let's take a look. This is pretty much how I find where I cloak to, right? Dan, the guy who's the man behind the cloaker, he doesn't like the way I do this because he says it's a bit riskier, but I haven't lost an account on that cloaker yet. So I'll check out the page, right? This looks kind of legit. I mean, I would read it maybe a little more in depth, right? There's no unrealistic claims, quote unquote. And that's pretty much probably what I would cloak to, something like that, or something like addiction treatment center, just tips maybe, so it's more of an info site. So
just I think basically make sure that there's no affiliate links on it, and it's not
something like this.
Yeah,
this is like an info page. Yeah, so there you go.
That'll work. Oh, there's ad knowledge right there.
Yeah, there you go. Biker Boy's got a question.
Yeah.
In terms of scaling, I can read this one.
Yep.
In terms of scaling, running broader mass appeal offers will work for more traffic sources. True? What's your take?
I say true.
That again. Yeah, true. Yeah, running broader mass appeal. Yeah, it'll work for more traffic sources, just simply because, everyone wants to make money and have love or be loved and, look good, lose weight. So you could run that type of thing anywhere, typically, and it's just that much easier. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if it's a definite problem and it's an evergreen problem, then you can run it wherever you want because you're going to hit people that have that problem. So, yeah, for sure. You want to read that next one?
Yeah, sure. Jeff's asking, I posted this on the forum, have a question about cloaking. I guess I'm a bit stuck at this point of what I should make my lander that Google sees look like. I plan to bid on product names. Do I basically just make a page that states a bunch of facts? How many pages does that need to be? Also, regarding hosting, I'm guessing I need to get separate hosting for all my different... So I think it kind of answered before what I was saying, but there's two ways that you can do the page that you cloak to. The lazier way, which is the way that I've always done it, to be honest, is I just find somebody else's site and I cloak to that. I show Google that one. Okay? The way that Dan from No IP Fraud, the way he does his is he builds a site and he'll show examples. They'll show examples tomorrow, so make sure you guys check you guys that have the cloaker, check your email and get on the webinar. But he'll show how, he'll talk about that, what kind of page to cloak to. But if you want to get up and running really fast, just cloak to any other page. Obviously, please don't make it like a major site like CNN or MSNBC or some government site like the U.S. government site or WhiteHouse.gov or something. Try not to do that. But usually, I'll find a page that's on the bottom of page 1 or on page 2 or 3 of the SERPs. As long as it's not an affiliate site or a thin site, it just looks like an info site, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, I think he was just confused about thinking you had to make your own site. Because I agree with you, Chad. If I'm cloaking, I'm just going to go out and find a site. I'm not going to waste my time building my own. Because why bother when you can find a legit one?
the reason Dan does it is he builds a site and then he'll have one page that is his lander, the actual page of traffic goes to, and that page will not be compliant. But the reason he does it is because if he uses Google's conversion tracking, right, the pixel tracking,
Oh, well,
I don't know, there's no proof that if like you had the pixel on one domain and then, you know, like
yeah.
so let's say you had the pixel on the CPA network, right?
I
Or,
guarantee
on one domain.
they're picking up the referring domain.
Well, yeah, but you know, they pick it up, but the
guaranteed.
thing is like, well, yeah, they probably do, but the thing is like, why, you know, you could legitimately have a different domain as your converted, as you know, the domain that your conversions sit on, right? You could legitimately have that. The thing is, though, if they check that domain and it's like some CPA offer, well, they're probably not going to like it. So I think he does that because he embeds the conversion
Right.
code in
Right.
an iframe or something. Like the way he does it is really fancy, but and he just says it's a little more bulletproof. But the fact is, the way I've always cloaked is I don't really use the pixel, so
Mhm.
I just kind of I just do my thing and I just kind of you know, point it wherever I want.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the point is there's like no real 100% right way to do it. There's a bunch of different ways that work, and it's just like anything else in marketing.
Yeah.
You know, you got to experiment, you got to try things, and that's the only way to find out is to test them out. So, but that I didn't even think of that. Like if he's using the pixel, he wants the domains to match. That's smart. That's
Well, yeah, I'm guessing that the pixel would make a difference. So who knows?
Yeah. But if you're not, and then like you said, you don't even need to use a pixel because you can just use sub IDs. So why bother? That works too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Max
answer-
got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, hi Max, here. Question: other than games and dating, what other niches that work on Facebook? Considering the fact that many niches like BizOps, etc., are not liked by Facebook, some tips, please, on what is the latest on what works. You know, education offers, lead gen offers like insurance, auto insurance, that sort of thing. You know, police record types offers, that sort of thing.
Credit cards.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, credit card. Some debt offers, depending on how aggressive it is. Sometimes credit report offers, but those are usually a trial type thing, so you gotta be careful of that. Yeah, like just lead gen, just basic lead gen offers. Like, you know, there's a lot of niches for lead gen, so I mean, I could sit here all day, but yeah, like just the ones. It's more think of the things you want to avoid, like BizOps. Rebills of almost all kind. You can get some health and fitness stuff through, like like weight loss. You can get some weight loss through, but it's a challenge. Easier to get through is skincare. Okay, if you're cloaking, then you can get through skincare. I know that for a fact. Cloaking I got through penny auctions, but let's assume you're not cloaking. So, yeah, I mean lead gen, tons of lead gen, like I said. Gaming, dating, as you mentioned. So, just lead gen can encompass so many things, right? So that's the only thing. It can be so many different verticals. Yeah.
Okay, and question from Sam, just dealing with the cloaking again. I'm a beginner and want to promote ringtones in Google Display Network using cloaking. How do you go about promoting? I think we kind of talked about it.
Yeah, so if you mean that how do you go about promoting, as in, what type of site to cloak to? Well, what I would do is I would just cloak to a, just a celebrity site or a lyric site. That would be a good one, right? That's fine. But in terms of how to promote on angles and stuff, it's usually a good idea with ringtones to actually select a specific artist, right, and bid on their keywords and that sort of stuff, and then send them to a lander. Ideally to a lander that's custom to that artist, and then to the offer, right? So,
yeah, and then he typed in there, already answered too. Okay. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sam's asking, any VCC you recommend? I don't use a lot of VCCs, but I am applying for an intro pay, just because it was Alfred, I think it was, that recommended it, and I just have the page. I just have the page up to apply for them, just because the reason I want it is to have a U.S.-based AdWords account so I can have that call tracking. But so that's EntroPay, and it seems like they accept people pretty easily. So that one seems easy enough. Isaac's asking, what's a VCC? It's a virtual credit card. So totally legit and stuff. You're allowed to use them on AdWords. It's just for people that they're normally for people that can't get approved for credit. So you recharge them. Yeah, you can preload them.
Mm-hmm.
And they take like a 4.95% on the reload, which is actually a fair amount if you're spending like 10 grand a month on it, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. And then Frank, what's that? Okay.
I didn't really.
Oh,
Frank,
here.
You say, sorry, yeah, you wanna.
You still ad group, yes, but I'm still using one keyword per ad group. I think that was from some earlier we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on this one. Can you show an example of a lander that might convert for pay per call and work in Google?
That would work in Google in terms of be like legit without cloaking them. I mean, like I said, I have the one. Now I got to find the URL, but I can try to dig it up and put it in the forum for you. Just like message me on the forum, maybe I can try to dig it up, see if I still have it. But otherwise, like I said, 90% of my pay-per-call stuff is just direct linked. Exactly how the guys has been having success do it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't have one there I'd show you. I don't have one for that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, if you're doing 500 a day on mobile, how much are you spending in traffic? So my pay-per-call like ROI is typically around 50%, right? So if I was making 500 profit, that means I would be spending around. I bet you my math is wrong now, but I'd be spending around $1,000, right, to bring in 1,500. That's like an example, right? So.
So to be 750 then, spent to bring in 500.
I knew my math was off on that.
No, you're right. So, that's right.
So my ROI would be around 50%, sometimes 30, but I have had some that have gone up higher, right? You'll have variations, but I haven't really had pay-per-call campaigns much higher than 90 or 100%. Whereas on Google Display Network, and I'm sure Will can attest to it, I've had campaigns over 200%. And Google Search, I've had campaigns at 1,000% ROI, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, you want to read this one?
Okay, so which one? The Adam Hansen?
Yeah.
Okay, no, Mike. With pay-per-call, WAP ads, if using brute force and using broad keywords at the beginning, how do you determine the keywords that actually converted and to focus on with phrase or exact match? Example, you have 9 clicks, and after a couple of days, you can see the individual keywords that caused the clicks. However, say you only had 5 converted. How do you know which 9 keywords converted? The way I would do it, Adam, is, okay, so I showed on that pay-per-call webinar that I just set up smaller campaigns. Like I just take the keywords that have the highest volume in mobile Google search. So through the Google keyword tool, I'll just find the top 5, let's say, that have the highest volume, and then I'll give each one a separate phone number from Ring Revenue, since you're only allowed 5 phone numbers when you start out a campaign. And then whichever one, that's how I'll tell which keyword converted, based on which number was actually rung, right? And you see that all in your Ring Revenue reports. Now, if you're doing a different strategy where you're doing, let's say, 10 keywords per ad group, and then you're doing like, 50 keywords or something like that, then what I would do is I would keep the keywords themed. So if I have 10 keywords per ad group, I would make them all pretty, relatively themed, right? And I hope you understand what I mean by themed. And then I would assign a phone number to each ad group so that I get an idea of which ad group is now creating a phone call. So that's how you tell. You get the separate in your Ring Revenue panel. You can get separate phone numbers, which you can apply to ad groups or ads or whatever else.
And I think that's kind of where everybody's stuck right now, is we can't drill down to the keyword unless we go to the ad group level, or unless you buy individual phone numbers for every keyword. So it's kind of a sticking point, but I'm hoping somebody's working on some kind of, software or something for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys in the U.S. Can get that Google call tracking, and that Google call tracking allows you to track down to the ad group level, and so all you got to do is just put one keyword per ad group. And what I would do is, let's say you were doing addiction treatment, right? I would have one campaign that goes addiction treatment phrase, addiction, another one addiction treatment exact, and another one addiction treatment broad. And then I would have, each one would have a different forwarding number. So now I'd be able to track phrase, broad, and exact match all at the same time with their call tracking. So that's the way that I would consider looking at it if you guys are in the U.S. Or like I said, I'm gonna try to get that intro pay card and see if that allows me to do it there. So Alfred's asking, say I want to bid on 2,000 keywords in AdWords search. Do I split 200 ad groups with 10 keywords each? Managing the campaign daily will be a nightmare. This will be interesting what Will says, and then I could. Will, you want to go first on this?
Yeah,
you're like a search guy.
I would never do that anymore. I have a theory on this too, and I got a lot of theories, but if you put if you put in too many, yeah, no, seriously, I wear one all the time. If you put in too much stuff at once with Google, they assume that you just use some automated system to do it, and you half-assed it, so they're not going to give you any traffic. They'll throttle you right from the start. I swear, I don't know why I think that. Well, I do know why, just from basically trying to dump. At one point in my career online, I tried to dump 1 million keywords into one campaign back in, I think it was 2005, and I got a call from Google, and they basically told me where to go. So from that, I mean, 2,000 is not 1 million, but I think that they have automatic red flags that go up, and they count the number of keywords, they count the number of ad groups, and they count the average number of keywords in the ad group. And if your numbers are outside the norm, then they automatically say, red flag, throttle traffic, let's manually review it. So I wouldn't do it. You're not going to have any benefit to dumping 2,000 keywords in there anymore. Their systems are so advanced, and they've learned so much over the years that there's no benefit to doing it. So the other thing is, you're right, it would be a nightmare to manage that without some sort of automated management system. So don't do it. Just build it small, slow, and steady, and then they will. You'll fly under the radar with them. You won't get red flagged, and you won't get reviewed, and your traffic will actually increase in a nice steady flow right along with it. So that's the way I do it.
And Will, that's kind of your opinion on Google Display Network too, right?
Yep.
Now as well.
Yeah.
Because guys, Will posted a while back in the PPC subforum like a strategy for Google Display Network, and yeah, you only start like 100 keywords or something, right?
Yeah, and one keyword per ad group.
One keyword per ad group. Yeah, and that's kind of like how I do Google search. And so one keyword per ad group, and Alfred, same thing. I wouldn't do 2,000, especially on search. I mean, on content network, sometimes I still will do that, but I definitely wouldn't do that in search. I would do it like maybe 100 keywords, which is quite a bit to manage on Google search. So.
Yeah, and like you typed in there, nightmare, especially for writing new ads too. Exactly. Like they know that you didn't write 200 new ads, so they know you use something to do it. So then they have to flag it because it's some automated thing. And even though Google's whole system is built on being automated, they don't like people using automated tools to build their campaigns, which is kind of backward.
Yeah, it is. Well, they want you to be targeted, right? That's the whole thing with quality scores, relevance. Google's like a relevance engine. That's the biggest thing. It's not really search engine, it's a relevance engine. And so they want everything to be relevant. I mean, you can still, on the display network, you can get decent results just, having thousands of keywords, but I mean, I think it's going more the way Will said in that, it's best to just kind of be a little more targeted and
well, even on the display network, if you have more than 50 keywords in an ad group, they ignore anything over 50 anyway, because all they're doing is assigning a theme to that ad group so that they then know where to put your ads on their publisher network. So your individual keywords don't even matter much besides determining the theme on the content network. So
Okay, Dave is asking, when cloaking, Dan said it's best to cloak to our own pages so there is no redirect. Is it okay to cloak to our own site which has an iframe on it? The iframe would contain someone else's page, which is good quality score. Well, what would happen is the Google bot wouldn't pick up what's inside the iframe because it's I think that's what you mean, like because it's the domain they're looking at, right, which is going to be your page. So I think that's what you meant, and you know, Dan would be the best guy to talk about it. Again, Dan doesn't really like the way that I do it, but if you wanted to make it a little more safer the way he does it, he'd probably be the best guy to talk to. I think that I answered that though.
No, I think that makes sense what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the iframe would have the same domain name, but the actual contents of the iframe could be the other offer on another site. But
yeah.
They wouldn't even know the difference. The bot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just Frank, boom, just getting rid of some of these. Nero's asking, how do you direct link on pay-per-call on Google without getting Google slapped? Well, you're just direct linking the phone number, right? So the ad just has call extension on it, so you're disabling the landing page thing. So all you have is a phone number. In terms of the quality score, your quality score is still low. You know, we're all experiencing that. Even like the guys that are like really, really good at pay-per-call, they're also having the low quality score, but once they get click-through rate going, the quality score might increase slightly, but the call volume increases, and it's the volume that you want anyway. So, I mean, the quality score doesn't seem to be too important as of yet on you know, pay-per-call. I would like it that it is, but I think the bids are all pretty competitive across the board. And that's why the bids are all high, right? So it's tough to say. I think they're still kind of in their infancy with their pay-per-call delivery, but they do have the most volume.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
Sam's asking, how is Google allowing flogs? Is this person cloaking? So I'm guessing, without even visiting it, that that's a farticle, like a fake news site.
I'm going to say yes before I even load it.
Yeah. Well, the way you can tell if they're cloaking, Sam, is that's a really old style.
That is an old one.
Article too. This is a really old one they got. You know that this girl, Melissa Thoreau, she actually sued a lot of big-time affiliates for using her picture. But
oh, did she?
Anyway.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah, just recently. I'm guessing when you saw this, the domain name wasn't weekly-health-Canada. It was probably a different domain, and that's how you can tell that they're cloaking. Now, if you do see the same domain, then either, you know, they have their, you know, another, like a site attached to this domain that is legit looking, right? Or most likely, if it does have the domain, then they're just churn and burning accounts. I know some guys that don't even cloak, but they have this system of making 10 accounts a day. I don't even know how you do that. Like,
yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, I don't even know how you do that efficiently, but this one dude, I know, like he just, that's how he does it. And so they doesn't even cloak, they just burn through accounts all the time, and I don't know. So if the domain is the same in the AdWords ad, then they're either burning accounts, or if the domain isn't the same, then they're cloaking. So that's how you tell. Okay, let's go. Frank, Chad, do you primarily use Google AdWords for mobile traffic? What percentage would you say you use Google for compared to AirPush or MSN? There was one guy in the forum that was strictly using MSN and didn't use Google because he said they drain your account. Your thoughts? I actually like to get my account drained. as odd as that sounds, but Will knows what I'm talking about. Like, yeah. I would rather have volume, right, than, you know, getting 20 impressions a day or something, or, you know, 50 impressions a day. I would rather have something that has the potential to make me broke, and then I just optimize and do better with it, right? That's the way I always look at traffic. I would much rather go with volume than anything else. I would say 80 to 90% of my mobile traffic, like for pay-per-call anyway, is Google right now, and then AirPush. When you guys do display, like I'm gonna be tested. I've been wanting to do this for a while, is test some display network, a Google display network stuff for pay-per-call, because I think you can get some cheap clicks that way, but still targeted by keywords. Well, you have to assume that only about 5%, maybe 10% of your clicks will actually go through to be legitimate calls. And the reason being is, and I found this interesting, when you click on a phone number on your iPhone, let's say you got an iPhone, and the little number, the prompt comes up that says call or cancel, you've already been charged for a click at that point. I didn't know this until like last week. Well, that was pretty interesting.
Well.
So you're not charged when they confirm click and call. You're charged when they click that ad. So that's why you end up having, like, you know, out of 100 clicks, only 5 of them will show up on Ring revenue reports, and that's because the person actually said yes. So you just have to factor your math in and see if you do the display type traffic. Follow up, Frank posted, what if you get volume but no conversions? Frank, I'm guessing you're talking about air push. That does happen. I mean, air push was kind of, it'd be up and down. Like some days I'd have 300% ROI, and then the next day I would have negative 50% ROI. And so that's an issue of tracking. You can't really track it. I do like the fact that display traffic's so much cheaper, so that's why I want to start testing on the Google Display Network itself. And you know, probably low number of keywords, like Will talked about, like, you know, maybe 100 keywords. Not even 100 keywords. I would probably just do, because you only get 5 phone numbers, so I would probably just take the high volume keywords again and do that. So. David, yes, you answered that. Biker Boy, do you have AMs who don't reply to you? Biker Boy, do you have AMs who don't reply to you even if you're generating 4 figures revenue weekly? I got an interesting, like, real quick story about EWA, and people ask me why I don't run volume with EWA, and EWA is fine network. You know, they're a good network. Like, Ryan's a good guy, he runs a good network. This is just a personal thing with me, and I'm sure that they've changed it, but when I first started out, I generated, like, I think it was like $1,500, you know, in a matter of a few days. And I tried to get some response from them, blah, 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 and they sent an email to me that's like, because of your landing page, it was like a blog style landing. They said, we can't comment on this legally, sorry. That was it, right? And so I was like, okay, and then I joined Convert to Media, and I talked to Ryan from there, and I said, listen, I'm running this, blah, 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 and he hooked me up, and then I generated like 6 figures of revenue within like less than 3 months with Convert to Media. So that revenue could have been, and then, you know, all the revenue I generated after could have been EWAs very easily. So sometimes you do have somebody that doesn't, regardless of what you're generating, right? And it could be because they got a guy doing 5 figures of revenue a day, or 5 figures of revenue a week. So it's, I mean, there was a guy on Convert to Media who was capping out all the skincare offers in the last few weeks because he was generating, I'm not kidding here, he was generating, I think it was $60,000 a day in revenue, and he was capping offers by like noon, 1 o'clock. Now, the thing is, though, it was kind of cheating because what this guy was he was a network owner. He was a CPA network owner who had like 10 really strong skincare affiliates. So he was just brokering the offer through Convert to Media. And,
nice.
You know, I know a lot of guys are going to be like, that sounds like an awesome business plan, I'm going to do it. It's a lot harder than it sounds because you got to, number one, recruit these affiliates that can all run like 5 figures a day and stuff. But, you know, he was making $5K a day probably profit passively just through his network, his broker fee, right? And so, but the reason I bring it up is because there was other affiliates on Convert to Media that were doing like 5K a day, 8K a day, but they couldn't get any cap and they couldn't get any pull because this dude was doing 60K a day, right? And so that makes it kind of unfair. So sometimes you'll have that, man. You'll just have, you know, people that
like,
they don't respond.
Yeah, the other thing is 4 figures a week. That's good. That's solid. But yeah, there are guys doing 4 figures a day. So you're getting there, but you're not quite at the top of the food chain yet. That's all. So from a network point of view, they're gonna they should reply to you. Like, they shouldn't just leave you hanging. I think that's stupid. But
yeah, that's also a prick move. I mean, there's guys that generate 3 figures a week, you know, but the affiliate manager is like, you know what, this guy could have potential. I'll work with him and stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Narode saying, are there any videos in the forum on how to do pay-per-call via direct link? Is there a way to learn this technique? I really want to learn this method. Well, yeah, there's in the webinars section. I mean, just watch the pay-per-call webinar. I kind of show a quick walkthrough on how to do it. So go to the webinar subforum right here, and then go to this one. People really like this webinar, so yeah, check that one out. Frank saying, wow, to the 60K a day. Holy crap. Frank, convert to media, is that direct linking? I think you mean like the skincare thing that the guy was doing. That wasn't direct linking. That was he was doing landers. I think lifestyle blog type of lander. So David, Chad, what did Ryan tell you to do to your flog to go from 4 figures a week to 6 figures in 3 months? You know, it was the call to actions. So I don't this was actually it's not even up anymore. I don't think it is. It was a call to action, so like the before and after type picture on the flog was, you know, front and center as it usually is above the fold, but when someone hovered over it, okay, he suggested making it like a rollover where that said, you know, click here to blah, blah, and that helped a lot right there. And then, you know, we did a few other things like, you know, bumping up the contrast on the before and after on the after shot. What else? Like changing the calls to action, the copy a little bit, adding more scarcity with the, you know, the script that says, you know, this offer is available until noon tomorrow type of thing. So there's a few little things that he helped with, but Ryan's a clever dude, right? Like he used to be a designer at a pretty successful design house, so he's seen a lot of landers, so he gave me good ideas, that sort of thing. So your affiliate managers, some of them, I used to have an affiliate manager at Mundo Media, and they would give me a guaranteed EPC to test out their offers. If you ever get in that position, that's pretty cool, because they just ask you, what EPC do you need to run traffic? And I'm like, I need $1.80. And they're like, okay, sure. And then it's because they're testing out an offer. But Mundo Media is sketchy like this in that I ask them, I say, hey, do you have a lander that's working? And they'll be like, yeah, I got a couple landers that are working. Well, the reason they're working is because other affiliates have used them, and it's kind of just kind of a cutthroat kind of game in that respect.
That could be yours on the other end one time.
Yeah. So you guys listening to this, that's fine and all. If you get a lander, I mean, dog eat dog, but don't go showing your affiliate managers your landers, okay?
Definitely.
If you can mask them with Prosper 202 or a double meta refresh or CPV Lab, whatever your tracking is, don't show them your creatives. I mean, it's weird. Some affiliates like to show people stuff. I don't know, maybe to feel accepted or, you know, to be liked by their affiliate manager. Don't do that. Just if you're generating revenue, keep your stuff to yourself. And
yeah, otherwise you're going to have a bunch of competition real quick, and you're going to wonder where it came from. But you know where it came from.
Like I trust Ryan for the most part, but there aren't many, you know. He's never shown me someone else's landers, and I've asked him. Don't give me. I've been like, show me a lander that's working for this. And then,
well, and that's actually not a bad idea right there. If you're wondering if you can trust an affiliate manager, ask him that question. Say, hey, do you have any good landers that are working for this offer? And if he sends you 2 or 3, put your red flag up and just make a mental note and say, okay, don't show this guy any of my landers, because it's an easy test, and that guy would have failed in that case. So, but if he says, well, I don't really have any because I can't show them, good. That's good. That's what you want to hear, really. You know, I mean, that's what I want to hear.
I'll tell you what, though, if I ran a CPA network and I could get around the legality of it, I would give landers out to guys, but I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't take them from affiliates.
Yeah.
That's just mean. But like, because I'm an affiliate myself, I know what kind of landers work. So
Yeah.
I would probably give guys a head start and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. The more you can give them, the more they'll run with you. Especially the newer guys, they just eat it all up, and rightly so, because it's saving them time, quite a bit of time. So
Need a CPA network, but I hear it's a lot of work. I don't want that. So.
it is. I can tell you that, and I'm dumb enough to get back in it too.
Good to hear. Cool.
But yeah, I lost all my contacts, so they all seem to have retired or moved on somewhere else. So I'm back at square one. Sucks.
Geez.
Oh well. What are you gonna do?
Recruit from the forum. So
Yeah.
Sam's asking, can you rip landers and run? Yeah, you can. Just swap out the tracking and that sort of stuff. There's tons of people do it. So.
Well.
I mean, try to be creative. Put your creative spin on it, right? And then, go from there. But yeah, of course you can. Okay, guys. Any last questions here? We've gone over the hour. Hope you guys got a lot out of this one.
I think that was a good one. Another good one. These are always good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, these are easy calls for us too. But
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no. I hope you guys get it. Let's see. Sam saying, I presume using HTTP track. No, I use a Mac program called SiteSucker, and see, it kind of looks like this. I use SiteSucker. You can use a Firefox plugin called Scrapbook. You can use another site called Bolt. It's bo.lt. But I use SiteSucker because it literally does suck like the entire site. Like it takes everything. So
well, that HT track one, that's one I use because it's an offline viewer, so it literally takes everything, like images and all, and puts them into.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if it's for PC only.
I never.
Yeah, that's one right there.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been around for a long time too.
Linux, this might be for Mac. That's Linux, so Windows. Okay. Interesting.
I know it works awesome on Windows.
Cool. Bike, Alfred, thanks a lot, Will and Chad. Scrapbook is awesome. Yes. Thanks a lot. Great webinar. And Isaac. Okay. Awesome.
All right, guys.
Well, sounds like that'll be it. So we'll see you guys in the forums, and we'll do this again next month.
Yeah, and I'll post a replay up there too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just get the replay up like we always do, and then we'll go from there. Guys, one thing I wanted to see, because Daniel put a question through here. Will, I think you can see that, but I don't know if you guys have seen this because we haven't had a lot of views on this, and Will be happy that I'm mentioning this on the call, but we haven't had a lot of views in the tool section in the forum, right? We have like the social ads tool, right? This is you can get access to the bulk uploader for for Facebook, but one of the holdups is because Will has been kind enough to kind of front the, like, you guys pay him and then he has to set up the account, and it's kind of like a bit of a pain to do it. One that I've been using personally, just before we leave here, is it's called Sam, and I'm on the line with one of their reps tomorrow, but I've been using this one for a couple of my campaigns, and I did a video in the forums right there, right? So this was the penny auction cloaked, by the way, and this is a teeth whitening cloaked as well, but this thing, it allows you to do bulk campaigns, bulk upload campaigns, very similar to social ads tool. But the thing is, you guys don't have to go through Will to make have to get him to set it all up for you and then send the funds. So if that's a bottom, if you want us to save him some work and stuff, I'm sure he doesn't mind. But if you do mind, let us know, Will. But
no. The only issue I'm having, Daniel, and I know I haven't set up your account yet, is I'm in negotiations with them right now. They're being real sticklers on me, and I don't want to open an account for you and get you going and then only to shut it down a week later. So I'm kind of, until I can get something solid from them, I can't. My hands are tied. I know it sounds like an excuse, but that's why I've been dragging my feet, because I don't know what direction I'm going with them in the future. So I don't want you to get all excited and get using it and then have it taken away from you. So I do have your deposit, and you will get that back if we don't continue, but it's looking like we might continue, and I might be able to stick with a good deal I have, but that's my only thing anyway. So
Yeah, so
please bear
that's
with
one
me.
option. Yeah,
The other one's good too. The other one that he showed is really good too.
Yeah, so that's one option, and then obviously, you know, social ad manager is another one, guys. If you're looking for bulk upload, Sam, real quick, one last question: what is the size of the CPA industry? Man, that's like, well, there's one advertiser that's at $400 million of like, so it's got to be billions and billions of dollars of.
Oh, it's
You know,
billions
it's an
at
enormous
least.
industry. Like it's way bigger than you could imagine. Yeah, the one guy who did a lot of the rebuild stuff back in 2009, he got sued by the FTC for
Oh, that Jesse
Jesse
Williams?
Williams.
Yeah,
He's in
yeah.
Edmonton. Yeah, he's in Edmonton, eh? And they 2020 visited his office. It was awesome. But he had $350 million fined by the FTC. He brought in about $460 million in revenue that's tracked. Who knows how much he had going off shore or whatever.
Yeah, so he's fine.
Yeah, so he's I think he's all right. So
Yeah.
And Frank, I'm more confused than a baby at a tapas bar. Okay, and with that, we'll finish it up.
On that note.
On that note, okay, guys, we'll see you in the webinar. In the forums. Jeez, and I guess that's it. We'll get the replay up.
Have a good one, everyone.
All right, guys, take care.